Nice to meet you, Vjekoslav, and welcome to the conference once again. You have two official positions at Raiffeisen Bank International, head of Advanced Analytics and Artificial Intelligence, as well as the Managing Director of Group AI Lab. So to begin with, could you elaborate a bit more on your positions, and could you tell us what does Group AI Lab do?
Well, thanks for having me first. And I would like to start with generally explaining what we're doing. We're focusing on data and AI-driven solutions to ultimately advance the banking experience by using such modern mechanisms. So we started in 2017, so approximately 4 or 5 years ago. In the meanwhile, we have around 100 people working on data science, data engineering, machine learning engineering, some AI consultants, all together working on a cloud infrastructure and open source. So basically, it's a quite a modern team, especially for if you look at the whole industry of banking. I would say we're very advanced in the usage of both technologies, but more specifically because of our employees. That we have carefully gathered together and also built in the last 5 years. So you asked about the group AI lab, so the team in Bratislava and the other teams are in Vienna and Belgrade. But the team in Bratislava is specifically focused on conversational AI, chatbots, voice bots, and let's say voice intelligence.
The first time we spoke, the topic was quantum machine learning, and you paved the road for the future of banking by implementing quantum technologies in its production. So could you talk a bit about your journey in quantum? How did it start, and how did you come up with the idea that this might be good?
Well, in 2018, we checked or looked at all the emerging technologies back then. So we played around, experimented, prototyped, even with AR, VR, IoT, some blockchain-related topics, and basically what kept us with quantum computing is it's very close to AI. Specifically looking at quantum machine learning and quantum NLP, natural language processing. And because of that reason of being close to AI, which the question was, when and how can we make use of it? And besides that, it's an absolutely fascinating technology, given the whole quantum theory, and it's very hard to understand and therefore also very challenging. But with the first experiments, we already saw benefits, and it has been a fascinating journey for the last 3 years to almost 4 to observe how it's developing and how fast.
Of course, being a pioneer is usually easier said than done. So how did this process of implementing quantum technologies in the banking sector look like? And from your experiences, what would be the suggestions for somebody thinking about going into the quantum realm?
Well, from the moment on where we said, let's check it, let's do something. We don't just like PowerPoint slides and theory. You want to put our hands on the topic and experiment with it, and only then you understand when you make your hands dirty, see what it can do and what it can't. So how we started is also the way what I could recommend to anybody else is to find a dedicated team, or it can be a virtual team of internal people. And we looked around the organization. We were surprised how many great minds, intelligent people we found in all kinds of different departments, what I would have not even expected. So we found quantum physicists. Quantum chemistry is also a field that is interesting there. You need people who can also program pretty well in Python, because quantum machine learning is not a field where you can go to Stack Overflow and just copy a few code snippets. It's still early in the days. So yeah, quantum theory, quantum physics, I would say ideally, Python programming and this innovative entrepreneurial spirit is what is necessary. And then just take some algorithms and start rewriting them in quantum. And you see where you get. And if you're not able to identify, let's say, those great minds in your own organization, then you might want to look for some ecosystem partners. And there's a few of them starting to be in this field.
Sticking with quantum one last time, could you share any of the anecdotes with our audience?
No particular anecdote, it's just sometimes, and I tell this to my team, sometimes it kind of reminds me of Big Bang Theory, the series, sometimes.
Going back to banking, many, when talking about the future of the industry, people refer to this term modern banker. So for our audience, could you discuss this term a bit and what does this person, this modern banker, mean to you?
That's quite a hard question, modern banker, because the complexity of banking is just so huge. I would just like to quote our mission statement. It's superior customer experience through continuous innovation. So just given that statement, customer experience, it means customer focus, innovation, obviously. So I would say the modern banker for me embodies a customer focused, innovative combination of tech and business. So when I studied, I learned that my professor said banking is a service. Service is information. Information is IT. So ultimately, banking is IT, or modern banking is turning more to be into a data-driven banking.
And how much of a challenge can it be to find tech-savvy, young data, machine learning, and AI experts actually willing to work in the bank?
Well, challenge that we face is first, hiring and finding these people. Not just us as a bank, but I think in general, finding people or good people experienced in both, let's say, banking know-how or data know-how or cloud know-how or data science in particular is already a combination of multiple fields which are not so easy to find. And then if we add quantum chemistry or physics or quantum theory in general, then we're this is like starting to be a potential war for talents. But what we do is how to tackle this complexity when you're joining in a bank. We provide a field where young persons in particular, but anybody who's joining new, will have quite a large dedicated team using modern technology. We have a data science academy to help with the start. It's quite a large academy, actually, with very dedicated, very, very, very focused courses, like deep learning and a lot of NLP specialists there, but also general courses like what is data science at all. And it's a good start, but then you will find yourself, in the middle of the job, and especially the younger ones are very happy to find a number of senior colleagues who are there around to help.
And now, more specifically, you did mention the academy there. What does RBI offer young talents when they join your institution?
Well, RBI in general, aside of all the trainings and visiting conferences, I mentioned the Data Science Academy is special, but I think just saying about the size, in Vienna, we have around, my department has 15 or 16 students at this moment. Just students, not even started working with us like in a normal fixed position. So we do invest a lot in the young people, and I would say a third, if not a half of these students actually stay around with us and get their first job. So I think that's quite an offer.
Lastly, as mentioned earlier, this is your second DSC event and hopefully not the last. What was your biggest takeaway from attending these events?
Well, I was surprised at first about the size of the conference, also about the quality of speakers, but even more about the quality of the attendance. I think that's the most important part. Hi, my name is Vjekoslav Bonic. I'm based in Vienna, working at Raiffeisen Bank International, head of advanced analytics and artificial intelligence.